Tell me you turned your girlfriend into a gamer girl without telling me you turned your girlfriend into a gamer girl. I'll go first. You ready to play zombies?
Yeah.
Tell me without telling me how your marriage set your bar down to the ground.
As time went on in my marriage, my ex-husband turned me down for sex more and more. By the end of my marriage, he admitted that he married me even though he wasn't physically attracted to me. Regardless, when you're turned down for sex constantly by your significant other, it actually kills your self-esteem and your self-confidence. One of my current partners, Alex, constantly asks me for nudes and sexy videos, and I never think to send them to him. Because in the back of my mind, I'm still like, why would he want to see me naked? He's already seen me naked once. And it honestly is taking some getting used to having a partner who constantly wants to see me naked, even though he's already seen me naked. Because that little voice in the back of my head still tells me that I'm not good enough for an intimate partner to actually want to be into me sexually. Do not underestimate how much your sexless marriage or relationship is going to fuck you up.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Fun fact, actually a really dystopian fact that is maybe supposed to be a secret, but whatever. There is this network of apps that are essentially beauty passes. So if you're a model or just a pretty girl or an influencer, you can apply to get in. They're exclusive, so not everyone gets accepted, but you apply to get in. And if you get in, there's a shit ton of businesses, restaurants, massages, facials, lip injections, makeup, clothes, whatever, haircuts, everything, yoga classes, Pilates, everything that you can get for free just if you tag them on an Instagram story. So if you follow models that post Joe and the Juice and Pilates on their story every single day, they're not paying for that.
Tell me you're petty as fuck without telling me you're petty as fuck.
I come from a time where you have one family email address that the whole family uses, and my mom recently divorced my dad for cheating, and he booked he and his mistress, now girlfriend, 2 first-class tickets to Vegas. And he's very old school, so A, he's not going to realize he did it, B, he's going to print his paper confirmation and he's going to forget about it and show up at the airport. So I waited until I knew he had printed it and I canceled their flights. And because the email came to me, so did the cancellation emails. So when they go to the airport in April, they're not going to have a flight.
Tell me you the side bitch without telling me you the side bitch.
I can always tell when he's with her because I get left on red, or he doesn't look at my stuff until 2 in the morning, probably when she's sleeping. When she found out about us sending each other TikToks, he blocked me. Meh. Whenever he's going through the phase of not really wanting to be with her, he flirts with me way more. And I'm waiting for her to find out, just so I can ask her, what, do you have a problem with my husband flirting with his wife? Yeah, I became the side piece to my husband's side piece. Don't worry, I don't entertain him though. I did, however, tell him that he should probably respect his girlfriend. Unlike your home-wrecking self.
Tell me what makes your wife angry without actually telling me what makes her.
I literally been waiting all day to do this. Challenge accepted. Stay tuned, watch. I'm gonna do it right now.
Oh my god! I really started choking.
Tell me your grandma's the sweetest person on the planet without telling me your grandma's the sweetest.
Tell me who your NFL team is without telling me who your NFL team is.
Well, when I was younger, everybody used to say, oh, you like them just because they're good, blah, blah, blah. Well, can't say that anymore. I watched 6.5 years of just a coach clapping on the sideline, but our quarterback got signed, so let's hope it all turns around.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
How much do you make in your home country? $40,000. We'll give you $120,000 to work for us in the U.S. Oh wow. We'll also give you $40,000 worth of stocks, so if our company is successful, you'll be successful too. This is incredible. None of the companies in my home country do that.
Tell me what it's like to work in America without telling me what it's like to work in America.
So I was hired for a company that sold burritos, and I'm not going to get too into it, but Qdoba has better burritos in this place. So during the interview, I was like, I can't work Sundays because of religious reasons. And they're like, okay, don't worry about it. Not an issue. It was an issue. So the first day I work is a scheduled Sunday. So I come into work thinking it's a mistake, and I tell the manager, I'm like, hey, there must have been a mix-up. I can't work Sundays. I told you just the interview. He's like, no problem. Don't worry about it. It happened 3 more times. So the third time I leave a note on the manager's desk. I'm like, I cannot work Sundays anymore. I will no longer be coming in on Sundays. I told you this. So they scheduled me the next week on a Monday from 8 to 8:30 at night. And I'm thinking to myself, yep, I'm getting fired. So I go to work and they're like, hey, we need to talk. I'm like, all right, let me go clock in. And they're like, no, you don't need to clock in. I was like, then we don't need to talk. So they're like, fine, go clock in. So I clock in and I sit down and I turn my phone on recording. I lay my phone on the table. I said, I'm recording this conversation. They're like, why? I'm like, because I know what's going to happen. They then proceeded to tell me that I was going to be terminated for changing my schedule. I said, is this because of the Sunday religious thing? And they said, yes. I said, I'm suing you. If you want a part 2, I'll...
Tell me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
I got this one. So boom. We used to have this experiment in science class where they gave you a cotton swab and you swabbed the inside of your cheek. Then you took that swab and you swiped it on a glass slide, and you'd put the slide under the magnifying glass so you can see your cheek cells. Well, one day we're in class doing the experiment, and this young lady looks at the teacher and she was like, there's something wrong with my cheek cells. They're moving around and they have little tails. Teacher was like, looking perplexed. Goes over and looks in the magnifying glass, and he was like, yeah, those aren't cheek cells.
Tell me you got a little sister without telling me you got a little sister.
There's a whole handful of my chips. You ugly and you disrespectful. You come into my space. I gotta cleanse it now. Your energy is ugly.
Tell me you're petty as fuck without telling me you're petty as fuck.
I feel like nobody's gonna believe me, so I need to actually show you this. Okay. This is something my dear old DAD taught me. If you have a sunroof, you can do this. In my car, yes, this does say dentures. I don't know where I got it. But in here, we have only dimes and pennies. You do not do this with quarters, and you do not do this with nickels. Okay, so if someone's riding your ass, you lock and load and you flick it straight up, and the wind from your sunroof will carry it back and on their windshield. It's not strong enough to crack the windshield. They'll just think you kicked up a rock. They're not going to know you actually flicked anything because they can't see you doing anything down here, but they will back up off of your ass. So don't recommend on a highway though. That's dangerous.
Tell me men kind of scare you without telling me men kind of scare you.
So let me tell you about the time I reverse roofied this guy. A couple of years ago, a guy I went to college with asked me out on a date. We were supposed to be going to get drinks, and he was like, come to my house so we can just leave from this location and take one car. I didn't think anything of it, but when I get there, he says he's not done getting ready and that we should just come in for a second and chill, and then we can depart. I get inside, he asks me if I want a glass of wine, and I'm like, of course I want a glass of wine, because I love wine. So he pours a glass of wine and he puts a wine charm on my glass, which I thought was kind of weird because it was just the two of us. So why do we need to identify which drink is which? I leave something in the car and, like a dumbass, leave my drink unattended for about a minute and a half and come back. And when I get back, there's this weird powdery substance floating on the top of my drink. At this point, all of the fire alarms in my head are like ring-a-ling-a-linging, and I had to think of a master plan quick. You guys will never guess what happened next.
Tell me what makes your wife angry without actually telling me.
This is an easy one. Babe! Babe!
What?
Babe! Babe, come here, babe. Babe.
Oh shit. What the? Tell me your mom should not be a mom without telling me your mom should not be a mom.
I deserve the win for this one too. When my mom found out she was pregnant with me, she looked at my dad and said, what are you going to do with another kid? He said, well, I'm going to raise it. She said, okay, well, you have about a year with me. She left when I was 3. Before she left, we were going with her for a weekend. We told my dad, bye, I love you, gave him hugs and kisses. She said, well, if you love more than me, get the fuck out of my vehicle, and kicked us out. She got in a fist fight with my brother over a bed frame that his bed was on in his room when she had 3 other bed frames in the basement waiting for her. She came back into my life about 8 years later when I was 12, and she had a boyfriend I said I was completely uncomfortable around. He creeped me out. She said, well, if you're uncomfortable around him, probably shouldn't be in my life. And then whenever I was 17, she was the first person I told face to face that I was pregnant. She laughed in my face, said, what are you going to do about it? Asked her to get me health insurance. She said, sounds like something you're going to have to deal with. Now she'd rather sit at home instead of getting a job and drink all day. So, cheers.
Tell me your parents spoiled you growing up without telling me your parents spoiled you growing up.
Whenever I did well on the school test, my mom would let me use the dishwasher instead of washing it by my hands. And if I were to finish my Kumon homework faster, I would have gotten 1 extra potato for dinner.
Tell me you the side bitch without telling me you the side bitch.
Been knowing this nigga for 3 years. Ain't never met nobody in his family. Ain't never spent no more than 2 hours with him. But he pay all my bills and all my bills are paid.